piece that, to your point earlier, people are making shorter term investment decisions in terms of they want customer acquisition channels that produce revenue and dollars now and not 6 months from now. And I think this is one of the things that's going to catch up to us in 6 months, is that we are, if you focus on, whatever analogy you like, small deals, big deals, large deals, like really, really large deals. You can use hunting, fishing analogies, whatever you like. Excuse me. It seems like everybody's chasing those like really small deals right now, because the medium size and the really large size deals, those ones take 2 to 3x longer, or 5 to 7x longer. And so when you look at a pipeline, you're trying to drop a bunch of teeny tiny rocks in there. You're not making any time to make those investments in the big rocks and the really, really large rocks. And is that kind of the, I guess, is that something that you were seeing as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and there's multiple reasons for it as well. I mean, everybody loves an elephant hunt, and you get the elephant and you're a hero for a day. The problem is that if I'm a salesperson and my target's $1 million, for the sake of argument, then if I chase $1 million deal and I've got 3 of them in my pipeline and I lose all 3, I'm absolutely dead in the water, whereas if I've got to get them to $1 million, I'm going to chase $1 million deal, 3 $500,000 or 5 $250,000 and a load of 100,000s. I'm spreading my risk across that. And I remember when I was out in the field having to do those kind of calculations, because people were buying software then, but it was a big ROI ask. There was a lot of, there's still a lot of uncertainty. Will it really deliver to everything? And I did stuff in supply chain and that type of thing, which, complex systems where people were asking a lot more questions around that ROI. The advent of SaaS and the ability to buy things in a lower value software solutions that could be implemented quicker has made that less of an issue, because people can change arguably quicker for certain solutions and certain technologies. And I think what that drove was almost a sort of a different dynamic in the way that we go about doing our selling, because, we'll try this, and you see it in security software, it's a classic example. Well, I guarantee if you try my security system, I'll find issues or threats that your current one doesn't. And there's only so many endpoint security systems they can layer on, and every single one of them finds new threats. So I think what we're seeing at the moment is a situation where, although that complexity means you have to spread your risk and target sort of at different levels, I think the other thing we're seeing as well, and certainly from our higher value solutions, is that the cost of change is being taken into account far more. So let me give you an example of that. I worked for a digital agency and software provider and bespoke software provider in a previous life. And we were chasing a very big computer entertainment company, global company, and we were looking at their business. They had an incumbent that they were using for all of their digital work and all of their micro websites for game releases, that type of thing. And we went into an RFP process, and it was a really complicated one. And it took us, it's a good few months in the making, loads of presentations. We really thought we understood every point. There was 110 points that they were scoring us on across all these different bits, and we lost it. And we went in for the debrief, and they said, "Yeah, you scored the highest." And we were like, "Well, how did we lose it?" And basically, we'd scored the highest, but the cost of change wasn't worth the additional score that we'd got. So the ripping out of an existing relationship and everything that they'd invested in that, we weren't far enough ahead. And when we analyzed it, it wasn't just the points difference. What was really interesting was that if we'd have scored more highly in a couple of their key areas, that could have made the difference. So we could have scored fewer points more, but more points in those key areas and won. And understanding that as a seller is it's a key bit of making decisions in tougher times, I think, because people are going to be looking at that. What's the real cost of change, and saying, is this something I want to go through when my market's at risk or my market's more challenged? And so I think, again, that even at the SDR level, where you're trying to make that first outreach and engage that customer for the first time, you've got to be cognizant of the fact that this person is not necessarily going to want to risk anything right now, because that may reflect on them risking their job ultimately, and that isn't somewhere anybody wants to go. So again, you've just got to be so aware of that and how you build that and how you target the important things for the individuals as well as everything else. It kind of just layers all into that, really.